What's going on, guys? How's Chayton here? Thought about going live a little bit earlier than, well, a few minutes earlier. I was originally going to go live probably like 10 minutes earlier, but I was, what you call it, taking my dog out. So, did all that. Got done playing some of the island for the first time for 2K26. I'll give my thoughts so far on Dirty 2K26. I'm a week in, but of course, I've been working a lot, so it's been kind of difficult for me to sit there and give a full on deep dive in what I think of the game. Um, why are you so late? I was actually gonna go stream. I thought about streaming earlier, but I saw Sloppy was thinking about going live. I think he was doing some. I don't know if it was a drunk stream or what. So I was like, depending on what the topic is or what the conversation is, I may go on there. And I think he probably passed out, fell asleep. So I don't blame him. So I was just like, fuck it. I'll do a stream now, just for shits and giggles for a little bit. Probably won't be going live for too long. Just covering some housekeeping and all sort of shit regarding everything. Today was a busy day. My Spurs rebounded, so I can't really bitch about that too much. And what else happened? The wife and I watched Fade to Black. We tried to watch Poltergeist last night, but that was not a good idea, especially after we just ate. So hopefully we'll watch that soon. If you don't know what Poltergeist is, you're in for a treat. Basically, if you are familiar with Trauma and Toxic Avenger, the OG, you'll be right at home. But yeah, the last few days have been just crazy, just with work and other stuff going on and all that other good shit. And you know, um, the last few days have also given me new ideas to discuss on the Outcast when it comes back in May, due to certain topic points. Right, I'm like looking for new topic points that are not like the goal for the Outcast this season is for it to be a show you won't want to miss. A show that, even though it's every 2 weeks, is going to be something that you're going to be counting down the days, right? After episode 1, 13 or 14 more days till next episode, right? I want that whole vibe, right? And I want that anticipation. I want you to wait longer and plus it gives us a break to even, hell, 2 weeks. It's a long time on YouTube. Could give us new material to work with. But as most of you know, the wife and I are going to be hosting the show with Mr. Beauregard. Well, we have a like we're thinking about doing a conversation about like not only our religion, but maybe discussing our up. You could say that, but I'm not going to go and say it's a new era every fucking 5 seconds. Anyway, we're gonna talk about I think a conversation about our religion and our religious upbringing and all this other stuff. Could be something that I feel will be interesting. Not to convert anybody. It's something that I wanna point out. I'm not about that converting shit. I'm also in the form of freedom of religion, which means I can talk about my religion and talk about whatever in that regard. I it's something that again I feel like is not really it's like taboo in our community and some of the stuff we do. So, you know, that's an episode that we are thinking about doing. We may have Mr. Beauregard sit that one out. That will probably be midway through the season. So like again, we're still working. Like I'm still working. I have the arc for the show for the season, and I have some ideas for the certain episodes, but like it's always like thinking of new ways to innovate, new ways of doing stuff that no other show in our community is doing. Right? That's the whole point: is to stand out, is to be different. What you See, okay, hey Jay, how you doing, man? Okay, so should WWE pull out Saudi Arabia soon? I do believe so, due to the fact, well, maybe they can't pull out their contract, but due to WWE having certain events this year in Saudi Arabia, they may have to. WrestleMania, possibly, due to the fact that it depends on how long this shit goes on for and how much of Saudi Arabia is left. Um, have you seen One Piece live action? I'm going to be honest. I did watch One Piece, the anime, back in the day. I liked it, but it was never really something I go back to a lot. Same thing with Naruto. Um, I'm a casual anime fan, if I'm being honest. So like my jam is like Dragon Ball Z, fucking Death Note, shit like that. Funny enough, I did play that. I did say that with I think Lilith. That is funny, actually. Anyway, so yeah, so I have not seen the live action show. I don't really have plans to. It's not really my cup of tea. But hey, if anybody likes it, I hope it's good. You know. Oh, before I get into other things, I did like did I mention this on Money Stream? I think I did. I met Derek Mears of Friday the 13th fam. I posted on my community post. And yeah, he was a fucking swell guy. You know, I can't like my list of people I've met in horror have climbed a little bit because for a while it was mainly wrestlers. You know, I would. Hey, fuck, I would like if I had to pick between Silent Hill and like Raccoon City during the outbreak, I go with Silent Hill. Fuck that shit. I'd be right home in there, especially if it's like the psyche of my mind, like you know, kind of how Silent Hill is in that sense. Oh, I always tell people they think my mind. If people went inside it, like if it was a town, I would love to hear their thoughts. But yeah, and one of the cool things that's going to happen next month. So my woman and I are going to go see. Yeah, it was. I am in the process of playing Silent Hill F, and that's pretty good so far. I haven't gotten too far into it though. But we're going to go see Lacuna Coil next month. My second time, her first time. But I'm also going to. We got tickets for a watch along of Halloween 4. Now, people may ask, well, why are you going to see that? Like, that's one of my favorite. That's my favorite Halloween movie. But the lovely Danielle Harris will be there. I have wanted to meet her, and they'll have meet and greets and all that shit. I have wanted to meet her for years. I had an opportunity a while back, but certain things were getting in the way. So I decided to get the tickets to go in to this event. It's next month. So I will be able to meet Danielle Harris. I'm hoping there's like selfies and shit like that. But because I don't know how this is. This is a little bit different than some of the meet and greets I usually go to. But I am very much looking forward to it because again, Danielle Harris is somewhat like whenever I know some people say Jamie Lee Curtis. Well, when I was 4 years old, like my first like I guess as a kid, you know, you have those child crushes and all that. Danielle Harris. Yeah, Danielle Harris, and she is and hell, it was always that you always have that idea. You know, when you're a little kid, you don't think anything, right? But then when you're older and you know, and then the actress or whoever's older, right? And you're like, you can't wait to see if they're in a movie or something like that. You can't wait to see them naked. That was the best part of Halloween. Rob Zombie's Halloween was seeing Danielle Harris topless. You know, it was just yeah, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'll be doing that at the end of April, so that'll be really cool. No. That would be funny though. That would be really funny. Be like, I say it's his aunt or something. Like, hey, I met your aunt, you know, and all that other shit. You know, but no. She's been in different things. Like you could she was in some of the later Hatchet movies. She was in, of course, Halloween 4 and 5 as a little girl in that one. She was in Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2 when she was a little older or grown up actually. And she was another movie she was in Urban Legend, the first Urban Legend. Funny enough, I've gotten that before. No, no, no. I like Justin Long, except for Night Patrol. That was not a good movie. Um, let's see. Jay, they are remaking Silent Hill 1. No word yet on 3. I heard rumblings that they were going to remake 3 first, and that wouldn't have made sense due to the whole situation with 1 connecting with 3. All right, one Cody Veronica, definitely agree remade along with that. Yeah, yeah. That's basically Capcom's full plan for the next probably 5 years. See, I love the sequel. I Will Die on a Hill. There are things like, okay, I've seen both cuts. I prefer the director's cut of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, except I would take out the die at the end when Michael said die. Spoiler alert for a nearly 20-year-old movie, but yeah. Jesus Christ, Rob Zombie's American Dragon Jake Long. They used to be a shit when I was a kid. What was I gonna say? I can't believe Rob Zombie's Halloween is gonna be 20 years old next year. Jesus Christ. Crazy, crazy. Anyway, what else was I gonna say? Okay, um, so regarding all of this, right? Regarding what happened, what happened to the Late Night with the Devil stream, right? And why did it get? Why did it? Did I get? Why did it gets deleted? Right. I decided if I ever want to do a series finale of Late Night with the Devil, I wanted to, I want to save it for something really special. And if I'm being honest, the person that I was going to do it on wasn't special enough. If I'm being honest. Now, granted, right now, I'm not really feuding with too many people, anybody that at least matter at this point. So I really I really felt the need to not do it. However, I promised everybody that I was going to release that call. If you have not seen it, it is the most recent video on this channel. Um, and what do you call it? I appreciate the love and support for that video. I can't remember who said what, I cooked that person or whatever. I can't remember, but yeah, the that call, I think that was the other thing, right? Here's my thing, right? No matter what you say about people, right? You could they could always fucking talk shit, do this, do that, right? But then when you realize that you're only doing that because, let's be honest, that person was only doing it because of that call and how severely burned he got. Not buried, just burned. So, and I'm sure people want to know, right? Now nobody can ever think of that guy anyway again. So there's no point in me even addressing it any further. So I wanted to make that call public. I could have showcased another video, decided not to, and all that. Mainly because I made a promise to a friend that and all that, but I also gave him for a good friend of mine. We had a discussion behind the scenes, discussing different things and all this other stuff. I basically told that person I'm not going to be shackled or on a leash. If I feel like I need to say something, I will. But it's not going to be like every day I'm going to talk about shit. And so on and so forth. So I told him, I said, I give you nothing will blow back on you. That's it. That's all. That's really the only thing that I could say because most of you, here's the thing. It's one thing I've noticed. Yeah, 07's good though. I will say 07's good. I will agree with you there, Jay, about the Michael Myers, that he didn't wear. I'd like the Rip design though, but I will agree with you with that. But I will say this to y'all is that y'all like y'all may be cool with me for one moment, y'all may not like me next moment, but I appreciate the fact that you all like I don't have subscriber only mode on here. I don't do that shit. I don't I let anybody come in and say their piece. If you are blocked, you're blocked for a good reason. Or maybe I forgot and I forgot to unblock you. But usually it's the former, not the latter. So I don't like I am free like I always say you are free to say whatever you want on here. The only thing is that, you just follow a few simple rules and they're nothing nothing to be, even a dumb person could follow them. So I don't get too many trolls. Actually, to be quite honest, I don't get any trolls. Which reminds me, I do need to go back because I feel like there's like one account that I may need to unblock because I think we finally got an understanding and kind of gotten a thing. I never have unblocked that person. Maybe that person was watching. I'll say, hey, why can't I comment? Well, if you're watching, just know I will unblock you soon. Come to think of it, I don't know if I blocked you or someone else blocked you. Anyway. Yeah, because I think the one right now is Dragon. That's in the chat if he's still watching. Anyway. Fuck it, I'll put the link up. Anybody can nobody comes in. I get it, it's late. And all that. If you come in, we can shit the shit for a little bit. But if not, that's all good. But I don't deal with too many troll accounts, right? I may deal with it or any accounts like that, stuff like that, right? I don't deal with that. Like maybe I'll deal with it on other streams, so on and so forth. But even nowadays, um, because of certain situations, because I think at this point people know that it's very hard to get to me. Like really get to me. Like you gotta be really close to me to fucking like get under my skin, like because it's difficult. It's more difficult. Like okay, for example, on on Sloppy stream the other day, right? There were some bombs dropped. There were some situations that happened, all this other stuff, and it was difficult for me because I didn't want to go too deep. And I'm not saying like go low or anything like that, but just go too deep. And that was because no matter what, I still have respect for people, certain people, and all this other stuff. I do not want to be that guy. Like, while yes, some people have told me and said that some of the things that certain people were saying were out of line and all that, it's hard for me, right? It's easier when it's someone I have no feelings towards. And I mean feelings, I guess, in friendship, brotherhood, respect, what have you, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's very. I think that's the other reason because of the fact that I've been through hell and back. I'm pretty verbally impenetrable. I'm not saying I'm fucking bulletproof from anything. Nobody is. But it's just something that, like, I'll put it to you this way. Who was it? On Money Stream, Will. Will gave me props for holding my own. Everybody knows Will and I are not buddies. And we are very critical of each other. It's not something I normally hear come out of his mouth towards me. And I was like, you know what? I appreciate that. And see, that one was a little bit difficult because of that. But it is what it is. Like, I'm not gonna talk shit. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. it's just something that it's just something that happened, you know. Life goes on. It is what it is. You know, I can't it's not something that I am upset about, you know. I have my woman, she's my anchor, if you will. She keeps me sane, keeps me afloat, if you will. She's my rock, I guess you would say. And it's just something that, I'm grateful for. And it's not everybody has that. And not everybody is going to have that. It's sometimes like, we poke fun, we make fun of people, we call them loser, like virgin losers and all this other stuff. But, you know, I pity those people at the end of the day because they will never be able to be around someone that will love them unconditionally, that will love them with their flaws, with their faults, um, and stay by their side. Not blindly, but just something. I didn't think I'd find that again. I didn't think I'd find that again. It was been years upon years of trying. That's why I always tell people, as cringe as it sounds regarding John Cena, never give up. Never, if you're looking for love, if you're looking for this, if you're never looking for that, never give up. You'll find it eventually. But most importantly, uh, more than anything, love yourself before anything else. Because if you don't love yourself, then how in the fuck are you gonna love someone else? That's just how it is, Took a drink of my drink. That's what I'm saying. I feel sorry for these people because they're like they're never gonna have that. They're never gonna have that opportunity. And it could be a plethora of things. Maybe they hate themselves. Maybe they fucking have the accessibilities. Maybe they're fucking unequipped in more ways than one. You know, it's you know as much as like like so like we'll get into a little talk. Let's see. We got Dr. Chain. Yeah. Hey man, how you doing, man? Appreciate the kind words, and all that, and hope you're doing good, man. I go. Actually, I'll save that for the outcast conversation. I was going to go into more of a biblical conversation, but I'm probably going to save that for an outcast episode. I don't want my channel to get all fucking, you know, religious and all this other stuff, and sorry, like I don't want to shove things down. So I like to embrace my shit because I'll actually talk about this, right? One of my biggest criticisms on, I guess you could say, religion as a whole, maybe not fully, maybe I could say partial or like 75%, right? One of my biggest gripes is that, and one of the reasons why for years and years I wasn't a very religious individual, and I'm still not, but is that unfortunately in society, and especially here in America, there's one constant religion, right? And that's the Christian religion, right? It's also Catholics, and I was raised Catholic, so I'm in that regard for that portion of the situation. But I remember like there were times when I was trying to go back to God, right? And I was, it was just different things. Shunned for certain things, certain interests, shunned for this, shunned for that. And it I came to a realization of why, like, shit, I'm like, I was getting shunned by fucking talking about what, like, the unbaptism, right? And I get it. I get it. Like, like, I know certain things, like a burning of a Bible, is not everybody's cup of tea. And I'm not telling anybody to. But if you can say, God bless, all this other stuff, and may God have mercy on his soul, all this other stuff. But like, you may not be shoving down the religion in that way in your mind, but to others you could be. Now, me personally, doesn't bother me. Like, I'll go to fucking family gatherings, right? And if they're the praying type, I'll go along with it. Not because I'm a big religious person, but out of respect. But I will also tell them of my fucking religion and of my beliefs and what I do. You know, it's just who I am. And it's just something that I feel needs to be accepted as a whole. There may be things that you don't like or that you do that I'm not really that I see things in. Like, for example, okay, you're drinking wine, but it's the blood of Christ and the ideas of church, right? Or eating a piece of bread, it's the body of Christ. Me personally, it's just a piece of bread, and it's a glass of wine. Same thing with the Bible. It is a book. At the end of the day, it is a book made by man. It's not a book made by someone like above our fucking heads and fucking in the skies, and if you will, you know, it is. I'll put it to you this way. You know the old saying, history is written by the winners? Christianity has been the biggest winner in the terms of religion for millennia. So how do you really know if that is the true gospel of it all? How do you know that that's the and again, there are so many contradictions in it. And to be fair, there are things nowadays that go on in life that weren't going on back then. So would God be against certain things going on like it would have been centuries ago? It's stuff like that you really got to open your mind and think about. I'm not trying to tell you to question anything. I'm not trying to tell you to fucking convert. I am just telling you always be open-minded. Always be wary of your surroundings. Because you never know what side is lying, what side is not. Look at his YouTube sense, right? And say this about somebody. And then there could be the other side who think they're not doing anything wrong. Sometimes one party's right, one party's wrong, both parties are wrong, or sometimes the truth is right in the middle. You just never know unless you keep an open mind. It's like I had a conversation with ITB the other day, privately. I won't get into what happened, but I was telling him back in when I was public enemy number one with a lot of people, right? I told him, me and him never like we gave criticize each other. We gave each other our opinions regarding the other, even as recently as the last few years, But excuse me, but one thing that ITB never did, he never was like 100% on one side, or he wasn't 100% on the other side. He was always down the middle. He was just like waiting to see what happened. And sometimes I wish I was the way a lot of people took in that regard and all that, but can't really do anything about it nowadays. But, I always told him that, that's why I said, no matter what, you always have my respect. We may not agree on a lot of things. We may disagree on things, blah, blah. But always know that, right? Never flip flop. You never did this. You never did that. You were always real. And I respect that. So it's just stuff like that that really, really is interesting to look at as a whole. One thing, I'll talk about this. I don't usually talk about politics, but I'll talk about this. It's crazy to think, right? Like, I've told people about my stance on Trump back and all that stuff, right? I've also fair enough to point out the fact that I criticize certain things, like the fact that he criticized Obama many years ago, back I think before his second term, about going to war with Iran, and now and criticizing him doing that, or possibly doing that, and now he's doing the same thing. It's hypocritical on his end. Now, granted, he sounded a lot more coherent back in 2012 compared to now, but it is what it is, right? But and I know probably this whole thing's a smoke screen because of the Epstein files, but it's shocking with everything that's come out. Now, granted, I will be 100% transparent with you. As far as we know, all this is hearsay. I am not saying that Trump is innocent. I'm not saying Trump is guilty or anybody else in that thing. But the shit that I've read is disgusting. And if it is 100% true, people should be incarcerated. Maybe even worse, if I'm being perfectly honest. But again, as far as right now, it's not. There's nobody's done anything. And I'm shocked about that. I'm shocked that what was it been a month and a half since they were released in full, and nothing has happened. It's like everybody forgot about it. Like, and what's funny to me is that, right? Okay, because again, I consider myself more independent with conservative views, more conservative views, right? Me personally, it's one reason why I criticize like people on the left, right? They should know that the shit going on with Iran could be, in a way, a smokescreen to take people's attention away from the Epstein files. And instead of still going after that, they just like fucking fish to a worm on a hook. They fucking get that worm, hook, line, sinker, and they go and protest that shit. I have not seen one singular protest about, at least here locally. I've seen a bunch of protests here. Shit, there's protests going on all this month. But I have not seen a single fucking protest regarding the Epstein files. It's all about Iran. It's all about this. It's all about that. But the real thing is, because it's not going to stop until if everything is true, until Trump is fucking out of office. So your idea is you should be pushing for something to happen with the Epstein files. But yet nobody's doing anything because they got to think of Iran. They got to think of this. They got to think of that. When the real issue is, if you really want this man out of power, then go forward with that because that's something more substantial you could get him on. But yet, again, nobody is really fucking thinking straight. Now, if you ask me, do I think, even if they did protest about, do I really think that's going to do anything about it? No, I don't think so. But you could try. And I'm just pointing out like the hypocrisy on it, right? And this is not me wanting Trump out of office and wanting Trump this and wanting Trump that. It is just pointing out just the ironic and hypocritical nature of everything that's been going on every side of the coin. It's just something that I've seen and all this other stuff. People are more worried about this, that, and the third, but yet, like, for example, I have conservative ties in terms of my political beliefs. I am not like, but also at the end of the day, it's not about fucking, what's the best way to describe it? It's not about fucking right or left. It's about humanity. It's about society as a whole. And when children are getting fucking allegedly, again, I want this to be pointed out, when they are getting just the most vile things happening to them, according to these files, and people are caring more about what's going on with ICE and Iran and all this other shit. I'm sorry, but that tells me you don't really give a fuck. You don't really give a fuck. If you did, you would be like there could be fucking day long protests if you want to talk about this, that, and the third. If you want to talk about the Epstein files, Iran, all this other shit, you could be talking about all that, but instead you just focus on one thing and whatever is the hot topic nowadays. It's hypocritical. It really is. Because no matter what your political agendas are, you care more about that than you do of fucking like these children that were getting fucking just violated to the most horrific degree. Now, to flip the coin for a moment, we know that in Iran, with everything that's been going on, there have been a lot of kids been getting killed there too. So that's the point I'm trying to make here, is if you really want to do everything all at once, then do that. Like, talk about all of it, not a particular thing each time something shitty happens. Excuse me. It's the same thing I say about fucking. One second. I had to take a drink of my drink. It's the same thing I've said about like fucking just thing I've said regarding like the beliefs, the fucking just what side is on, like what side is the right side. It's just crazy to me that a lot of times the YouTube world and the political world are very much one and the same, if you will. You have your beliefs, you have your God, people you think are the gods or think of this and that, and you will go and die on the hill for them. But yet, when certain shit is going on that's very severe, you stay out of it. You don't get involved. What have you? It's just something that, and to be honest, because even you could say, well, you never met these people, right? But in the political world, you've never met these people, so you could say something about YouTube. Half of these people you never met. That would be actually a good debate for the outcast as well between me and my woman, because we're very much different politically. Although I'm more independent, I do have more conservative views. That would be a good conversation to have, I think. We may have to put a cap on that right now and discuss that on a later date. But before I go and watch, someone's going to pop in before I leave, right when I'm about to end the stream. But before I go, let's see. I do want to try to make some time to bring back Gaming with the Devil soon. Maybe in the next week or two, maybe. I think next week I'll have a little more time, so I'll be able to maybe do some more. I know Friday, or is it Friday? Or no. Monday, I know I'll be working the Raw event. Well, you should have came in when you had the opportunity, but now I'm about to end it. And I don't know what is something when people try to come in. I only let I think who was it Punk and Cabal in because I did owe Punk a conversation with Resident Evil, so that's that. But I do want to try to bring my Game with the Devil and discuss maybe 2K26 and talk about that. Um, so be on the lookout for that. Maybe some Resident Evil stuff. I don't know yet. Um, and then and then outside of that, I think the only other thing I'm going to be doing, of course, Popcorn Panel. This Tuesday is going to be a good one. We're going to be discussing the movie Fade to Black from 1980 with Dennis Christopher. I just recently rewatched it with my woman. She needs to watch like the very end, but other than that, we got through most of it. I've seen it a bunch of times. I'm gonna leave my review on Letterboxd soon. If you have not, follow me on Letterboxd. I believe it's House of Chayton as well on there. But we'll be doing that. We'll be doing the Arnold ranking, and whoever wins gets to pick the movie for episode 160. I believe it's 158. The one that's coming up Tuesday. So that will be good to see. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I may do another random stream tomorrow during the day. I don't know yet. Maybe while I'm cleaning, because I am going to be cleaning tomorrow before I go. The wife and I are going to go see this movie called Slanted. So we're gonna watch that tomorrow night, and then I don't think we have another movie until next Sunday, which is gonna be Ready or Not 2. Um, Aside that, I'm trying to think if there's any other movies I want to see. I know Project Hail Mary, but other than that, I think after that, the only other movie I want to go check out is because we got movies coming out. Like we got that one, we got Forbidden Fruits at the end of the month. We got was it They Will Kill You or something? And then we have and then we have fucking what else is there? There's something else. Super Mario Galaxy. We're seeing that on April 1st. Due to the fact that I'm not going to be streaming on April 1st, I thought, why not? Let's go see a movie instead. Because fuck, I don't. I will. I don't want. I don't want to want to do some fun instead of chicanery, if you will. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I've been enjoying 2K26. I play a little bit of the island. I'm enjoying that. Not had an issue with the ringside pass. I know some people are bitching about about them fixing things. I'm fine with grinding and all sort of shit. Ask me how I am when season 2 comes out. I'm waiting to replay my Rise. My second playthrough when season 2 comes out next month, along with anything else. But my faction will keep me busy, and my faction will be able to keep me. My only criticism, really, this is my only criticism with 2K26 right now, is that double stamina, like the one where you can't reverse, and then the other one, and it's okay. You can modify it offline, but online you still have to deal with it on my faction, shit like that. That's the only thing that sucks. But other than that, it's not the end of the world. It's just a minor, and hopefully they may patch it and add some things to it. Hopefully, I feel like they would all that. But yeah, I've had no issues with it. I've enjoyed the game. It is to me superior than last year. The ragdoll physics alone have been fucking great. So, one more thing I want to add. when I did, like I said, when I did that video the other day, when I upload that video and all that, I've been hearing that that person has been getting trolled a lot. While I don't fucking have, like, I always say, if you too, brother, we'll talk again soon. Now, I don't have an issue if you are asking for trouble and you can't handle it, then if trolls want to attack you, I'm not gonna say stop, do this, do that, yada yada yada. Some trolls go further than others. It is what it is. The only part that I really don't have or I do have an issue with is like ones that tell you, especially like this person may be an idiot, he may be a loser, he may be this and that, but he doesn't deserve to be told to go off yourself or unalive yourself or whatever. That's the one thing I wanna say. And maybe these people could go at or gonna start coming after me because I'm saying this. You know what? I don't give a fuck. I have thick skin. But but my whole thing is that you could not like somebody, you could troll them, you can go after them, you can do whatever. It doesn't really bother me. At the end of the day, I don't want that. Like, I don't want that person dead. I don't want that person this. I don't want that person that. That's just how I am. Even if I saw, like, if we were in the same city, if I saw him, I know, like, I wouldn't even do anything. Plus, I know that person would walk the other way and run for the hills. It's not me flexing. That's just staying a fact. But, but that is crossing the line too much. That like you could troll them, you could do whatever, whatever you want to do. I don't care. To the people who act tough, act all big and bad, do this, that, and the third, who take this shit way too seriously. Like, I don't take this shit seriously, right? People who take this shit way too seriously. Okay, fine, because trolls are going to be everywhere. It's just how it is. But those things to people like that who don't deserve to be told go off themselves, go on live themselves, what have you. Those are things that I will draw a line on and say that's not cool, that's not right. You know, it isn't. People could say, "Oh, well, they can get in trouble." They could only get in trouble if the person actually does anything. And also, to be fair, um, I've had accounts do the same thing. I've had actual people threaten to do stuff to me. You don't hear me fucking doing it. Like, even if I wanted to, nothing's gonna happen unless something is attempted, right? So at the end of the day, don't tell anybody. Like, don't tell anybody to go off themselves just because you think they're cringe or think they're not whatever you think they are, whatever. That's just common knowledge, But it is what it is. So we went a good 48 minutes. Probably gonna go back and play some more 2K26. Probably drop it back into the island and all that good stuff for a little bit. So y'all have a good rest of your night, and I will catch y'all next time. Until then, ta ta for now.